So basically, to freeze or not to freeze. So put your hand up if you think you can actually freeze that item. So the first one is milk. To freeze or not to freeze. So we've got 3 people who have said yes. 4. Let's have a look. Yeah, we can freeze our milk. Oops. And there's a few wee tips there, isn't there? Such as putting your portions into an ice cube tray.
Always in a plastic bottle, though, not in the glass bottle if you still get it delivered by the milkman.
Next one, to freeze or not to freeze. Sorry about that. Bananas, I think I gave that one away. I got a bit overexcited. Kat and I have a disagreement about this one, since we kind of gave this one away. I'll just do it. Because I actually froze my bananas once with the skins on, and I think it was maybe the act of taking the skin off and it was brown and yucky inside that I ended up not using it. Whereas Kat, you've said you've successfully frozen your bananas with the skin on, is that correct?
Well, I think ideally, if you take the skin off and you chop them up and you freeze them in a little freezer bag or tub, that's ideal. But sometimes, I just fling it in the freezer as it is. And if it's being used for something like banana loaf, banana bread, banana pancakes, then I just let it defrost and let the banana the banana slush fall into the mixture, and it's all perfectly fine.
So the next thing, so your lettuce leaves, to freeze or not to freeze. So we've got 2 people who think you can freeze these. And if anyone's got any comments they want to make, please just unmute yourself and share any ideas. Because we're doing the hands up, I'm not sure whether Elaine's raised her hand to make a comment or just to vote. So the answer to this one is actually no.
The problem being that your lettuce would end up mushy. But these top tips are really great. So if you do get a whole head of lettuce, if you store it in a bowl of water in the fridge, that helps to keep it crisper for longer, which is also what I do with my celery. If it starts to get a bit sad, I pop it in a glass of water in the fridge, and that helps it to stay a bit more stiff. And also, I love this tip. So when you buy bagged salad and it goes kind of slimy in the bottom of the bag, to avoid that, if you place your salad leaves in the bottom of a Tupperware with a bit of damp kitchen roll at the bottom, sealed in the fridge, then it stays fresher for considerably longer than if you just leave it in the bag.
So orange juice, so hands up, can we freeze or not freeze? So we've got one person who says, yes, we can. And yes, we can. Just thinking of our, it's hard to imagine being hot enough to want an ice lolly, but yeah. Thinking of our ice lollies.
Or make it into a smoothie with your banana.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yogurt, can we freeze or not freeze? It's got 3 people who said yes. Absolutely right.
Put it back in the smoothie with your banana and your orange juice. Or use it in your scone mixture. Do you ever do that,
Oh,
Angela?
sorry.
Do you make scones?
I don't know the last time I made scones. I do like a scone as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. I
Got to
have to
be
say,
quick before they're gone.
that's true. This gone. Well, Paul, he's cut down his dairy products, so we use coconut yogurt now. Coconut, and so he just
Does
buys
that
enough for him.
freeze?
Yeah, I mean, I use my rice, my oat milk in my porridge, and yeah, I've not looked back. Cheese. So, to freeze or not to freeze? What do we think? So we've got one person who said they think we can, 2 people. So the answer to that is yes, we can.
Another top tip, so you can freeze it whole, and it's also, yes, also good if you grate it and put it into a bag, into the freezer, and then you can just take your handfuls out and sprinkle it into your macaroni cheese sauce or on top of your lasagna or whatever. And it'll last for around 6 months in the freezer. And this was very interesting. So cheddar, Parmesan, brie, and blue cheese all freeze very well. But the low-fat cheeses and the cream cheeses and the cottage cheese, they don't freeze so well. They come watery and grainy. But hard cheeses, especially your cheddars, your Parmesans, and then your soft cheese like the brie and blue cheese, yes.
Yep. So if you've got too much on your, this time of year, you buy a cheese platter, don't you? And you don't necessarily, even as much as you love cheese, you might think, oh God, I can't face any more cheese. Pop it in the freezer.
Pop it in the freezer.
And bread. What do we think? Can we freeze bread?
So we had some moldy breads in the chat shower at the start. So how could we have saved the bread?
So everyone has said yes.
Exactly.
That's just, I know it's an obvious tip, but it's just so good that you can just, you know, pop that in the toaster straight from the freezer. It's so cool.
And breadcrumbs as well, if you've got a bag of breadcrumbs that you keep on the go in the freezer. And I never, you know, there's a bit there that's about the croutons. I never get round to doing that.
No,
but breadcrumbs and actual bread,
yeah,
always handy.
And can we freeze cake? Yep.
So yes, so I often freeze my banana, then I make my banana loaf, and then nobody else in my house really likes banana loaf, so I slice it and I put the slices back in the freezer, and I just take out a slice in the morning if I think I'd like to have it for morning cuppa.
And I have to say, one of the tips I've used is that bottom one. If something's a bit stale, just popping it in the microwave. That definitely has been a
not for too long.
No, not for too long. And these are herbs. So can we freeze our herbs? Particularly those odd ones, that you buy just for one recipe and you think, oh.
It is worth buying the herbs for the recipes. They do make it taste so much better, but then
they do, yeah.
Then you kind of get left with a sad bag, don't you? So herbs are yes. So herbs like mint, parsley, chives are good whole in the freezer. Especially if you grow your own chives, you can put them in before the autumn comes, or you can chop them and put them into ice cube trays topped with water, and you can just put your ice cube into your sauce as you're making it. You can blend your herbs into a pesto with olive oil and then freeze that, and then just use it straight from the freezer as well. But some herbs such as tarragon and chives, they'll hold their flavour much better if you've frozen them rather than using the dried ones from your wee jars.